I didn't really dream of being a hockey player until I was probably in my teenage years. When I was about 14 or 15, I started to kind of think, yeah, maybe this is something that I could do if I really work hard at it.
It's hard to believe that there was ever any question that Mike Gartner would be able to play in the NHL. He possessed the rare combination of blazing speed and an uncanny ability to score goals. He scored everywhere he played, starting with his first pro season with Cincinnati of the World Hockey Association.
We kind of bucked the system and went down, and we had to forego our last year of junior hockey, but we went down and played pro hockey in various cities down there. Playing the WHA was a lot of fun, and something I wouldn't change for anything, but it wasn't the NHL.
Gartner got to experience the NHL firsthand the following year, when he was the 4th overall selection of the Washington Capitals. He had reached his goal of playing in the NHL, but he still wasn't sure that he belonged.
I remember one of the first shifts that I lined up against, we were playing against Montreal, and I look across the other side of the face-off circle, and there's Guy Lafleur, and I'm thinking, what am I even doing here?
He was doing what he did best, scoring goals, at least 30 each year for an NHL record 17 seasons. Playing most of the early part of his career in Washington and Minnesota, Gartner didn't get the attention that a player with his gifts usually attracts. But it didn't matter. He just kept on scoring.
3:40 to go in overtime. Here's Gartner, a steal, a shot, and a goal! Back from the north side. Gartner on right wing with a flag, he scores!
In 1990, Gartner was traded to the New York Rangers, where he reached 2 milestones, his 500th and 600th NHL goals, becoming only the 6th player in league history to score 600.
2-on-1 developing. Kovalov looking for Gartner. Score!
Yes! Yes!
Number 600 for Mike Gartner!
His scoring exploits led to 7 All-Star appearances. During the skills competitions, Gartner showed his great skating ability by winning the fastest skater competition each of the 3 times he entered. And in 1993, he stole the show by scoring 4 goals in the All-Star game and was voted the game's MVP.
I didn't realize that I had the puck that often, and I had that many opportunities. And it seemed like if I turned left, the puck was on my stick. If I turned right, the puck was on my stick. And so, getting 4 goals in an All-Star game is a lot of fun, and winning the car and everything. And once again, my family was there, which was a lot of fun for them to see it too.
4 goals in an All-Star game and 708 career goals are numbers that are still hard to comprehend for a player who didn't know if he could play in the NHL. Mike Gartner played for 19 seasons, and he feels blessed for the experience.
One of the questions that comes up often from the kids is, what's it like to play in the NHL? And although it's a very simple question, and one you should be able to answer very simply, it's very difficult to answer. And the only way I can put it is, and I tell the kids, I said, listen, when I was 18 years old, they told me for the next 20 years of my life that I could play a kid's game. And that I'd be able to only focus on that game, that's all I had to worry about. And that on top of that, they would pay me a tremendous amount of money to do it. I said, that's what it's like to play in the NHL.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Gartner, inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in the player category.
Well, I was doing okay until I heard Joey Mullen say how nervous he was. So, Joey, you've made me a little bit nervous. I'd like to thank Bill Hay, Jim Gregory, and the entire selection committee, as well as all the people in the Hall of Fame that have made this weekend possible, because it certainly has been a blast. I'd like to thank Gary Bettman for his guidance in the National Hockey League, what I think is the greatest league in professional sports. And I'd like to thank Bob Goodnow from the Players Association side in allowing me and creating an environment that I could make a very good living at doing something that I never really felt was a job. I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees, to Slava and to Yari and Dale and Craig. It certainly is an honor and a distinction to be going in and being inducted at the same time as you, and I'll always remember that. My speech really will be very brief and simple. If I was a tennis player or if I was a golfer, I could just sit back and thank a few people, but really just give myself a pat in the back for all the good things that I did. But hockey, being the ultimate team sport, I'm really going to spend my time just thanking all those people that I owe everything to. Firstly, I thank God through Jesus Christ as a Christian for the strength and the blessings and for being at the center of who I am and for the ability and the opportunity to play the game that I love. I'd like to thank my best friend, my financial advisor, my confidant, my wife of 20 years. Thank you very much, Colleen. I would not be here without you. And my 3 kids, for Josh and Dylan and Natalie, for all the new schools you went to, and the new teachers you had, and the new friends, and all the times Dad wasn't around for Halloween and all that stuff. Thanks for your support. I'm truly proud of you. I thank my mom and dad for the strength and the foundation they gave me as I was growing up and throughout my hockey career. They're not with me here physically today, but I feel their presence always. They did leave me with something that I strive to leave my children, and that's a very good example. I thank my sisters, Judy, who unfortunately is in the hospital and watching this from the hospital. I hope you're getting better, Judy. For Susan, and for Becky and Kathy, I thank you for all your support. I thank you for those early morning practices and for the games. And I know that a lot of times you only did it because Dad was going to give you the car to use. But that's okay. I appreciate that very much. The quality organizations that I played with, the Washington Capitals for 10 years, where I grew up and became a young man, where my children were born, for the quality people that were there, the brief year that I had in Minnesota, 5 years with the New York Rangers, playing at Madison Square Garden and wearing a Ranger uniform was truly a tremendous experience. Playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs for parts of 3 seasons, a kid growing up in Southern Ontario and putting on a Leafs jersey was truly something very special. And I appreciate that in my 2 years in Phoenix. And for all the great teammates that I've had over the years, and I've had quite a few of them, a couple that are here tonight with me, I appreciate their friendship. Wes Jarvis, Ryan Walter, Chris King, as well as all the great players that I've played with on all those teams that I've mentioned. You know, and all the goals that I've scored, I can never remember one where I went through the entire team and scored a goal without any teammates on the ice. I had some tremendous coaching throughout my pro hockey career. One coach in particular, Roger Nielsen, I'd like to thank for, after playing 10 years in the league, he coached me for 5 years with the New York Rangers. And I thought I knew the game well, but I think I only saw it from the right side of the ice surface. And Roger really helped me in understanding what the game was really all about from a technical standpoint, and I thank Roger. And to those who helped me in minor hockey, I think of my Bantam coach in Barrie, Bill Clayton, who, when I was playing the final game of a tournament, wouldn't let me off the ice, and I came back in the last 2 minutes and said, Bill, I have to have a rest, and he said, you get back out there till you drop, and that never happened in pro hockey, unfortunately. I thank Bill. I thank Lloyd Pearsall, who coached our midget team in Barrie when we won the national championship, and for helping me both on the ice and mostly helping me understand how to conduct myself off the ice. I really count that as one of the highlights of my career, as well as representing my country on 8 different occasions for Team Canada, and for the thrill of winning the Canada Cup in 1984 and then again in 1987. And I think that was maybe the best hockey that I've ever been associated with and ever been part of. It was truly a great thrill. But I think I remember most is just playing a game, a kid's game, until I was 38 years old. The camaraderie, the competition, the thrill of scoring a goal, the great people that are associated with this game, and the friendships that I've made, and I'm glad I can share them with you. And as I look up on the wall at the men on this wall, whose images are etched in glass, and they're looking down at me with measuring eyes now, I only hope that I can stand tall with you. Thank you.